MC Hammered: How a Ferrari Enzo got a makeover and became the Maserati MC12. You know that movie Victor/Victoria? Julie Andrews plays a woman pretending to be a man pretending to be a woman. It's hilarious, weirdly convincing, and super stylish. Now imagine that same identity crisis, but with a supercar. That's basically the wild story behind the Maserati MC12. Let's break it down. Start with the Ferrari Enzo, a raw, street-legal V12 powered beast. Then, give it a full racing makeover for the FIA GT series. Once that's done, take the racer and glam it up again for the street. What you get is the MC12, part Ferrari, part race car, part road-going showstopper. A street car turned racer turned street car again. The MC12's core is pure Enzo. Same carbon fiber chassis. Same 6.0-liter, 65-degree V12 engine. But Maserati stretched the wheelbase by 5.9 inches and added 11.5 inches in total length for better aerodynamics. They also made the body 2 inches taller, thanks to that aggressive roof snorkel, and 2.4 inches wider. The only body panel it shares with the Enzo? The windshield. The result is a long, sleek machine that looks part spaceship, part Jaguar, as in the XJ220 kind. And it's functional. At 125 miles per hour, the MC12's aerodynamics shift the weight balance from 41/59 front/rear to 34/66. That means this thing hugs the road like a champ. Under the skin, still Ferrari, but tougher. A lot of the MC12's hardware is lifted straight from the Enzo. But Maserati went full race mode with things like a hardcore dry sump oil system and gear-driven cams, instead of chains. The engine had to breathe through a 33mm air restrictor to meet FIA regulations, but it still rips. The 6-speed paddle-shift gearbox is also mostly unchanged from the Enzo. Paint a deep Maserati blue, toss in some carbon, slap on a giant rear wing, and you've got the MC12 version Competizione, a full-blown race car. And a successful one at that. In its debut FIA GT season, the MC12 scored 2 wins, 3 second-place finishes, and 1 third. Coming back to the street. Now here's the twist. To comply with FIA's rules, Maserati had to sell 25 road-legal versions of the MC12. But instead of barely making them street-legal, Maserati went all in. They made the MC12 Stradale, Italian for street, something genuinely livable and luxurious. That meant a removable roof panel, something the Enzo did. To make it more civilized, Maserati mellowed out the cams and engine tuning a bit. The MC12 Stradale makes 624 horsepower and 479 lb-ft of torque. That's slightly less than the Enzo's 651 horsepower and 485 lb-ft, but still ridiculous. It'll rev to 7,700 RPM versus the Enzo's 8,200 and still gives you a neck-snapping ride. They also softened the suspension, non-adjustable this time, swapped in more street-friendly tires and brakes, and replaced the big racing wing with a smaller version to improve rear visibility, since that massive air snorkel blocks the mirror otherwise. Time to drive. Maserati let us loose on their historic 4.75-mile Bellacco test track in Italy, originally built for Alfa Romeo's F1 program. This place is serious. Even with a bunch of tight chicanes, we managed to push the MC12 up to 170 miles per hour before hammering the brakes. The stopping power? Rock solid. No fade, no drama, just confidence. Then we headed to the twistier 6.7-mile handling circuit. First lap. Get a feel for the car. Second lap, push it. The steering is pinpoint sharp and gives you plenty of feedback. The street brakes are quiet and predictable. The Pirelli P0 courses grip well, though there's a little squirm on initial turn-in. When you hit the corners just right, you can even get the rear to step out in a controlled drift. The traction control, in race mode, lets you have some fun without putting it in the wall. It's way more forgiving than the Enzo. In fact, it's smoother than even the ultra-friendly Acura NSX at the limit. One hotshot journo tried to treat it like a full race car and came back with flaming brake pads. Lesson: the MC12 is a gentleman racer, not a maniac. Straight line numbers. We strapped on test gear for some acceleration runs. Here's what we got. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 3.7 seconds. Quarter mile, 11.8 seconds at 123.9 miles per hour. That's a hair slow. Maserati's big picture, the Ferrari divorce. In early 2005, Maserati was sold by Ferrari back to Fiat, which raised some eyebrows. But really, it was all corporate shuffling. The move let Ferrari clean up its books before potentially going public. Meanwhile, Maserati got closer to Alfa Romeo, also under Fiat, forming a new commercial and technical partnership. Ferrari still co-develops engines and tech with Maserati, but Alfa's broader manufacturing capacity might help Maserati crank out more cars and offer something at a slightly lower price point. Think Porsche and the Cayenne, a luxury brand partnering with a volume carmaker to boost profits. Will Maserati make an SUV? Maybe. But Fiat doesn't have a ton of SUV expertise. More likely? A smaller, cheaper sports car, something closer to the Boxster. Time will tell. Final thoughts. The MC12 is a bold, rare, beautiful machine. It started life as a Ferrari Enzo, went to racecar boot camp, then came back in designer clothes as a street-legal Maserati. It's brutally fast, surprisingly comfortable, and handles like a dream. Just don't ask it to carry your groceries or play the radio. And that, my friends, is how you turn a Ferrari into a Maserati and make it work.